This man never expected that letting a second-grade elementary school student punch him would turn his world upside down. He simply wanted to test her strength, but when Mary lightly tapped him, Jack was hit so hard he started to question his entire existence. In that moment, he suddenly saw visions of his deceased parents. Though Mary had only thrown a gentle punch, it made Jack feel like he had experienced death itself. Although Jack pretended to remain calm, Mary could tell he was holding it in. She was worried about him, but Jack insisted he was fine and said her strength only felt like a light tickle. Mary was impressed and asked if she could hit him again. She had a special ability where anything she touched would break soon after. This was the first time she met someone who could endure her power. Jack, however, had no intention of going through that again. He nervously said he was afraid she might break her hand, then calmly put on his shoes and ran away. The reason Jack acted so cool was because he had trained at a famous karate dojo since he was young. No one his age could beat him, and even older students were no match. Jack considered himself the strongest middle schooler in the prefecture. But everything changed the day Mary appeared. Jack's master had asked him to train the new student, not knowing what was to come. Mary landed a single punch that shattered Jack's confidence. Jack convinced himself it was just her luck, or maybe he hadn't slept well the night before. The next morning, Jack saw his master taking down the dojo sign. He was confused and asked why. The master apologized and said the dojo had to be closed. Jack was still puzzled until his master explained that he had sparred with Mary the day before and was defeated by a second grader. He felt unworthy of being anyone's teacher and decided to retreat to the mountains for self-reflection. It was then that Jack finally realized the problem wasn't with him. Mary's power was simply overwhelming. Mary, on the other hand, was heartbroken over the dojo's closure. Every time she found something fun, it would eventually disappear. Jack felt sympathy for her. He stopped thinking about what had happened and had an idea. He didn't want Mary to feel sad anymore, so he decided to become her training partner. From that day on, Jack became Mary's master, though he had no idea how dark his future would become. When they trained again, Mary had no intention of going easy on him. Her strength was unbelievable. During practice, Jack looked more like the student. He tried every trick to dodge her attacks but was no match. He was beaten down repeatedly but still pretended nothing was wrong. He praised Mary's talent but claimed she was still far from his level. Jack didn't want her to look down on him, especially since he was supposed to be her teacher. The most ridiculous thing was that Mary genuinely believed Jack was amazing. They continued their training, and Jack kept getting knocked to the ground. Eventually, she even kicked him flying across the room. This continued all the way until Jack's final year of high school. By then, Jack had had enough. His parents were getting divorced, and he was about to move away. Before leaving, he made one final decision. He would face Mary in a serious match. It would be their last practice together. Jack asked Mary to use her full strength with no holding back, because he planned to go all out as well. He had trained non-stop in preparation for this moment. Mary was the student he had personally trained, and now he wanted to defeat her with his own hands. But only a few seconds into the match, Jack collapsed to the ground, unable to withstand her power. Mary smiled gently when she saw him on the ground. She believed Jack was still going easy on her. Jack lay there peacefully, knowing the truth. But he didn't say anything. He simply told her that as her teacher, he would never use his full strength against his own student. With that, he prepared to leave. Mary called out to him and asked if they would ever meet again. Jack firmly said no. Mary asked whether, if they did meet again, he would still train with her like he did now. Jack replied with a dark expression that next time, he would use his full power. Mary knew then that her master had been holding back. In her heart, Jack was still the strongest.